Our first story today is from a stressed out dad whose girlfriend resents his two children. Hi Aunt Jay, I'm a dad of two, to Jake 10 and Ella 7. They are my whole world, but my girlfriend Sarah has made it clear she doesn't want them around, and I don't know how to handle it. 3 years ago I split with my ex-wife. It wasn't an easy breakup, but we agreed on one thing: Jake and Ella would always come first. I've always had them every other weekend since the breakup, and I pick them up extra during the week if their mum needs to work. And honestly, that's the highlight of my life. About a year ago I met Sarah. She knew straight away that I was a dad, and at first she seemed fine with it. She'd even ask about the kids, bought them little presents, and offered to come along to Jake's football matches. I thought, this is perfect. She understands that being with me means being part of their lives too. But as time went on, things started to change when Sarah moved in. It became clearer the first time Jake and Ella stayed over after she moved her stuff in. She made a big fuss about noise. Jake was playing a game on his game console and Ella was dancing in the living room. Nothing unusual, just kids being kids. But Sarah sighed loudly, picked up her things and stomped off, saying she needed some space. This kept happening. She complained about the house being messy after they left, or say she couldn't relax with them running around. And then she started planning things that clashed with my weekends with the kids. She'd booked dinner reservations, trips away, and even a weekend spa break. And then when I reminded her that I had the kids that weekend, she'd roll her eyes and say, well, can't her mum have them? You have them enough as it is. We need time on our own. The lowest point came a few months ago. My ex rang me in a panic. She'd been asked to work last minute and wanted to know if I could take Jake and Ella for 2 extra nights. Normally I would say yes without even a second thought, but Sarah was standing there waiting for my answer. And for the first time, I hesitated. I actually asked her if it was okay. And I'll never forget the look on Jake's face when I dropped them off early. He didn't say much, but I could see his disappointment. Ella clung onto me, asking why they couldn't stay longer. I drove home feeling sick, knowing that actually I'd let them down. The guilt, it eats away at me. I mean, I love Sarah so much, but every time I choose her comfort over my kids, a part of me feel like I'm failing as a dad. Even my friends have started to notice. One of my mates pulled me to one side and said, Mark, if she can't accept your kids, she doesn't accept you. And that's the truth, Aunt Jay. I feel so torn. I don't want to lose Sarah, but I can't stand the thought of my kids growing up believing that they came second to anyone. So, Aunt Jay, do I fight to make it work, or do I finally accept if Sarah can't love me with Jake and Ella, she doesn't really love me at all? Mark, I'll be straight with you. Your kids are 10 and 7. They're still little. They didn't ask for the divorce. And they didn't ask for Sarah. And they shouldn't have to compete for their dad. I mean, Sarah knew from day one that you were a dad, and she chose to get involved, knowing that Jake and Ella are part of the package. If she's now making you feel like you have to choose, how's that going to work? I mean, I get that you love Sarah and that, of course, you want the relationship to work, but have a look at what's already happening. You're hesitating when your kids need you, and you're carrying guilt every time you drop them off early. And worst of all, your kids are picking up on it and they're upset. Your guilt is your gut telling you that this isn't right. Your friend was spot on. If she can't accept your kids, she can't accept you. Because being a dad isn't a side role that you play now and again. It's who you are. So the real question isn't whether Sarah can learn to live with Jake and Ella. The question is whether you're willing to risk losing your kid's trust to keep her happy. And I think you already know the answer. And we'll move on to our second story today. Hi, Aunt Jay. I thought I'd found love again with a younger man. He promised me the world, even offered to renovate my kitchen for free. But instead, he left it half destroyed and then left me for someone else. I'm 52 and recently divorced. For the first time in a long time, I felt ready to put myself out there again. And that's when I met Adam. He's 14 years younger than me, a builder, and he was charming, funny, and had a confidence about him that made me feel so alive. People warned me about the age gap, but after years of feeling invisible, I thought maybe this was a second chance. Adam came on strong. He showered me with compliments and told me I was beautiful, said he admired me for starting over again after the divorce, for keeping things together when life had been rough. I've got to be honest, I was flattered. And I won't lie, it was exciting, and to have someone so much younger than me pay me that kind of attention. Early on, he noticed my kitchen. It's the same one I've had for 20 years. Old cupboards, broken drawers, tiles cracked from the children when they were little. I used to joke that the oven was older than me. Adam said he'd sort it. Don't waste your money on anyone else, he told me. I'll do it for you. You'll have the kind of kitchen you deserve. He made it sound like a gift, like he wanted to take care of me. And I believed him. I didn't have spare cash for a proper renovation, so I thought this was fate. A younger man who wanted to build a future, literally. The first week he started, I couldn't believe it. He ripped out all the cupboards, smashed up the tiles, pulled up the flooring, disconnected all the appliances. He was covered in dust, smiling, telling me how great it was going to look. I remember standing in the doorway, watching, thinking I'd finally met someone who wanted to give me more than words. But after the first bursts of energy, things slowed down. Days went by, no sign of him. When he did turn up, he'd hammer a few nails and spend most of his time on his phone, and then vanished again. My kitchen was unusable. No sink, no cooker, no countertops. I was living on takeaway food and paper cups of tea. I kept asking, when will this be finished? But he'd brush me off. It'll get done when it gets done. Then he started snapping. Do you think I've got nothing better to do? I'm not your personal builder, you know. Meanwhile, he'd asked me to pay for materials on my credit card, promising it would work out cheaper in the end. A few hundred here, a few hundred there. It all adds up really fast. I told myself it would all be worth it in the end, though, when I have my beautiful open-plan kitchen. And then came the day when my friend sent me a photo, Adam with another woman relaxing on a beach. She was younger and closer to his age. I scanned through more pictures, photos of them swimming, holding hands. I confronted him. He didn't deny it. He just shrugged and said, well, it was never serious between us. And you'll have to get someone else to finish your kitchen. That was it. No apology, no guilt. Just leaving me heartbroken, thousands of pounds down with my kitchen in total ruin. Now I sit in this house surrounded by broken cupboards, bare plaster, wires exposed. Not even the sink is fitted. I feel like such a fool. My friends keep saying to me, Oh, you should have seen this coming. That was naive for trusting a younger man who promised too much too quickly. And I know they're right. But I can't stop asking, was any of this real? Did he even really care for me? Or was I just convenient until something better came along? I know right now this feels humiliating, like you should have seen it coming. But you weren't foolish. You were trusting. You wanted to believe in someone again. There's no shame in that. The shame is on him. He came into your life and made promises he had no intentions of keeping. And he used your kindness until it no longer suited him. That's not a reflection of your worth. It's proof of his selfishness. And yes, the kitchen's a mess. And yes, it will take money to fix. But that's only bricks and plaster. What matters most is that you don't let him take your confidence with him. Because that's what men like that rely on. You doubting yourself. A good man would have proved your trust right. Adam only proved that you gave it to the wrong person. Don't carry this failure on your shoulders. That burden belongs to him, not you. Well, those are my thoughts. What advice or opinions do you have about today's stories? Have you ever experienced anything like this yourself? Let's keep the conversation going in the comments section. And subscribe if you enjoy real stories like this. I post videos every week. Thanks for watching, and until next time, guard your heart and protect your peace.